Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Summer of 26, a global soccer showdown. The Qooligan and myself, Gary Striker, from hooligan-soccer.com. Good morning, Qooligan. We are into day 9, I believe, of the World Cup. I think it's something like that, day 9. It feels...
Holy crap.
Yeah, oh my God, it's just endless. It's streams of games. Summing up yesterday's Strike Fest, and then today's follow-up as well, right? So Qooligan.
Well, no, today is the final day of group stage.
It is. Yes.
Right. So
yeah. And then
what happens after this is decision day, right? Where all gets sorted. All of the balls get tossed into the bin and then pushed through the colander and put into their respective areas. We find out who survived, who thrived, and then who's
and
basically...
then who plays
and then
who,
who's going home crying.
Yeah. So we have tickets to I think it's on the 29th and the 30th of June in Dallas and Houston for the two of the knockout games. I think it's like second of Group I and second of Group G, I think, and sort of like that. And so my son and I were frantically sort of watching at the Norwegian game, seeing whether we get Norway or France, because at one point when Norway were up, they were basically in top position on goal difference. And so it basically meant that we could be seeing France in our Houston game. And my son, who's an absolute massive Mbappé fan, was ecstatic at the prospect of possibly going and seeing France. And if you are interested, it's on the BBC. They have a really good live tracker of basically who's playing who as it stands, and it keeps dynamically changing as well. So that's also...
Oh, do they? Oh,
Yeah,
that's clever.
Well,
I still like the Guardian one because it allows you to speculate.
This one
it's all
on a live basis, which is quite helpful because it's confusing because there's so many different permutations and ways it can go. So, yeah. So Qooligan, we had some good games yesterday. It was Strikers Day yesterday. It seems like anything sort of Messi set the tone, and then Mbappé goes, and then Haaland goes, and they're all just banging them in. It's really amazing to see. It really is.
It was quite spectacular.
It was. That France game was really interesting. I have to say, France comfortably dispatched Iraq. Naturally, obviously, I don't think we ever doubted that. But what was really interesting is Didier Deschamps is not afraid to rotate. Drop Desiree Doué, put in Bradley Barcola, who looked good. Yeah. And then after about 60 minutes, I know there was the weather delay as well. I think it was on about 66 minutes. Hooks Dembele, hooked Barcola off, brings on Cherki, brings on Doué, and then he said to Mbappé, I think, as it was called out in the commentary as well, like, you've got 2 more minutes to score your third, and then I'll bring you off. Get at it. And I don't know if you noticed this, but Mbappe's game yesterday was incredible, absolutely incredible. I know it's against Iraq. Admittedly, it's early in the tournament, but coming into this tournament, he's been subject to he doesn't run, he doesn't track back, he doesn't defend. Obviously, there's all the 18 million signatures or however many it was from the Real Madrid / Barcelona fans saying get him out of the club. It feels as though he's had a real good look in the mirror and said, you know what, you're going to see a different Kylian Mbappé this tournament. And for these 2 games, he really has done that. And I think he's looking so good. He really is on fire.
I mean, he's a World Cup player.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. I mean, you've got some players that show up for club, and you got some players that show up for country, right? Yeah. And then you've got those rare players that can do both. But it's he's clearly at home in his in a France jersey, right? That seems to be the place where he is the most comfortable. And so, good for him. He's found his happy place, right? Let him live in there for a while. The sad truth is it just doesn't come around very often. And
but there's a world in which I think, look, obviously Messi scored twice yesterday and then sort of eclipsed Miroslav's close record, and now is the leading goal scorer by obviously a couple. You think he's not going to hold on to it for long because you think Mbappe's got at least another World Cup in him, probably 2 more, depending on if he can sustain.
Oh no, I agree. I think that's a given, right? Messi will only hold this record for so long, and it will and if Mbappe doesn't eclipse him in this World Cup, because there's a chance that might happen too. The gap is 4, which in previous World Cup iterations was a chasm, a Grand Canyon, if you will. Not anymore.
Yeah, well,
right? It's not anymore
because of the expanded format. So they brought more games in, so they play more. There are lesser teams coming in, so you have a chance to score 3-4 in a game, maybe, and sort of rack up some points. And so I think that's probably where it is. So yeah, it's a new.
There's a lot of reasons for that. It's more games, it's more fixtures, it's more this. Somebody asked me a question. It was either my spouse or my child. We were like, it seems like there've been a lot of goals in this World Cup, and I said there have been. And then I went, well, hold on. I answered that without truly quantifying it. Right? I said, hey, I said, my intuitive feel, I went Gary Striker on this and I gut answered. And then I realized that was a mistake because often you trip up when that happens. So I went back and I ran the numbers, and it is true that up until, I think I didn't put in yesterday's goals into my calculations, but up until the day before yesterday, it was, at least in the group stage, it was the highest goals per game of any World Cup since 1966. And I pulled all the data from 1966 all the way through and broke it down by stage. So either group phase, the bizarre second group phase, which was in the early stages of the World Cup, which is AKA quarterfinals or a round of 16 or whatnot, because they've expanded out the World Cups. Took the number of games, did all the average, and this is the highest, highest one.
Free scoring World Cup then. Fantastic.
3.03 goals per game.
Wow, that's a high average. That's really good. Okay, I'm curious if you could maybe sort of do that one on yellow and red cards as well. I wonder if this, because it feels like I know there's been a lot of cards.
That is not tracked. Unfortunately, that is much harder to go in and get.
Okay.
Because here's the deal: I don't use LLMs for this. Mm-hmm. All right, I don't put a prompt into. Into Grok or ChatGPT or Claude. I don't do that because you cannot trust that data, right? There are too many bad data sources out there poisoning the well. So I actually ran this one myself.
Oh, wow.
And so red cards and yellow cards would be a level of research that, frankly, I am just not about to do. I can tell you this, though. There have been more red cards in this World Cup group phase than there were in the entirety of Qatar 2022. I know that.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Right? So, and that is a consequence of the same thing. More games.
Yeah.
Quote, lesser quality teams. I don't want to but the level of competition is not quite as high. But also I think officiating and VAR has gotten, right? Without VAR, red cards were rarer. Because you really had to be sure.
Yeah.
No, true. You did. Yeah. I mean, you would see many fouls that nowadays would be reviewed and given, and red cards would be given. Right. And the reinterpretation of the Dogso rule, where if you make a tackle outside the box, it's an automatic red card. That was never in effect up until a few years ago. And so you'd see lots of professional tackles that nowadays would be reds that was just given as yellows.
Yeah. Right. Interesting.
Tackle somebody from behind when they're, 20 yards off the top of the box, yellow card. Just a yellow card.
Just a soft
Now
yellow.
It's a red. Now, so there have been some changes that made that possible, but even so, lots of red cards in this group stage. I believe 7.
Wow.
Is it 7 or is it 8? I can't.
Well,
it's 7 or 8. I know that.
There's been 2 games where there's been 9 players the 2 teams sent down to 9 men. Right? It was Qatar who was sent down to 9 men, and then there was
Qatar. Qatar and it was Qatar and then South Africa. Both were reduced to 9. So that's 4 right there, plus a 5th for the Mexican guy, just to kind of give it some sort of sense of normalcy. There was Belgium for 6. Bosnia for 7, Paraguay for 8. So 8.
Wow, amazing.
8, right? Yeah.
Okay, so that was the France game. Thoughts on Argentina? Are they the real deal, or is it still just the Messi show and they're too dependent on him and they're going to come unstuck in the knockout phases?
Yes and yes. Because it can be both.
Yeah.
It can be both, right? Messi couldn't do what he does without having a solid team behind him. I mean, let's just acknowledge that, right? Without his team and without that support, Messi wouldn't be able to be Messi. That doesn't mean that the team itself can survive without Messi. We don't know that because we haven't seen that yet, right? Messi's been on the field the entire 90 minutes, right? They haven't rested him.
They haven't managed his minutes. They will not manage him. Hey?
They haven't had to because he has 6 days. He has 5 to 6 days of recovery, which is plenty for him. Remember, he takes good care of himself.
Oh, yeah.
This is a man who has an entire universe built around him. And its entire purpose is to make sure that he is fit to play. Whether that be through, whatever he needs. He gets
dietitians, doctors, masseuses, all of that sort of stuff. It's all there, right? It's
sex, food, drink, doesn't matter. He gets anything he wants, right? And he's got people who are looking and tracking everything. I mean, I hate to say it's got to be it must be a very cushy, comfortable life, but it's got to be kind of boring because you never get to do anything yourself.
But
of course, they all do that.
Yeah, of course, they all do that. Like, I don't know if you saw, there was this Erling Haaland sort of series that went out, like they followed him in life. My son and I were watching it, like a day in the life of Erling Haaland. And he gets up, he has his breakfast, has his protein, has his 3 eggs, has obviously all he needs, does his stretching, goes to training, goes to the gym, does his yoga, has an ice bath, has his dinner, goes to sleep. That is the day in the life of Erling Haaland. Occasionally he'll step out and maybe go and buy a Lamborghini or something like that. But apart from that, that's your life, right? It is not you can understand why players like Neymar and Co go off the rails a little bit and just decide to go and party with it. But then of course,
when the brakes are taken off, you try to make up for lost time. That's okay. Yeah, sure. So no. A player at his age, right? One of the things that got me was Messi has scored more goals after turning 35 for Argentina than Diego Maradona scored his entire life. That tells you everything that you need to know about Messi and in a way about Maradona.
Well, I mean, let's just like
by the time he was 35, Maradona was the ball.
Was you? Well, I was going to say, you touching your nose. Was that intentional 1994 Maradona joke, or was that one of the great memes? Was if they had hydration breaks in 1994? There's a picture of a guy.
Oh, the guy with the cigarette. There's the guy with the cigarette. I know.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. No, but listen, it was a different era. They're very different types of players with different approaches to the game. But it does speak to the fact that. And some of the other things I heard, and I think this is true, is that Messi right now has a complete lack of interest in doing anything, which makes him the best that he can be. He cares, but he doesn't care. He plays like he doesn't care.
He wants to win this.
Plays like he's but he's not playing like he wants to win it. Whenever Ronaldo's on the field,
we'll see.
There is a palpable sense of tension. He exudes tension. He exudes a desire, like anxiety.
Yes.
Because I have to do this. Messi has none of that.
And all the players.
He saunters. He's casual. He's just, and the first goal is a classic example of that. I was screaming at the TV. You Austrian dipshits, who leaves Messi alone in the top of the box?
He sits in the pocket and he just drifts in, doesn't he?
My son sends me, because they didn't know he was there.
Yeah.
Because when that play started, he's standing right on the edge of the circle in the center.
Yeah.
Nobody's paying attention to him. And he just does that, and I swear he should patent this, the Messi saunter. He just kind of wanders around the field like an aimless old fuck.
And the
next thing you know, he's right there.
And there's a force field around him in the middle of the box, and there's no one's 5 yards away from him, and he just bangs it in the left corner.
It's as if he's got like a Klingon. He's got like the Romulan cloaking device, from Star Trek. It's just you can't see him. Then all of a sudden he pops out of nowhere, and you're like, "What the hell?"
Great movement.
It is. Yeah. He has mastered the art of movement without being seen, right? And so, and running without making an effort, and just moving in such a way that he eats up space but doesn't look like he's rushing. And it's a rare skill, and there are others who can do it, but he has gotten to that point. And this is where this is savvy, this is intelligence, and then he can just finish on a dime, and that's brutal.
Yeah.
But you also saw in the second goal something that you don't see from him, which is the tenacity.
Mm-hmm.
That's where his tenacity comes in, because he makes that goal happen because he starts it. The first shot, he starts the play, he gets in, he gets the deflection, shot is blocked, but he follows it up. He doesn't wave his hands. Ronaldo would have put his hands in the air by then. First block, his hands would have been up in the air, and he would have missed the second shot. Messi doesn't do that. He follows and tracks and keeps on hammering the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, listen, there's a but. He sucks at penalty kicks.
Oh, wow, that was, well, I saw you.
Sorry.
You quickly turned that story around yesterday.
I did. I wrote a story about it.
Published, yeah. I was very impressed.
And it's not just based on a gut thing. I went in and did it. He is statistically the worst penalty kick taker of anybody who's taken more than 100.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And I don't think I went comprehensive and looked at every single player through history, because again, historical records, once you get past the 80s, historical records aren't very good. Yeah. You can't trust them, right? So I had to go with modern players, modern legends who have taken 100 penalty kicks or more, and there's only about 5. And so I looked at that. He is the worst. You cannot even argue.
Yeah.
He's the worst.
Statistically. Well,
he is 78%, and the next one is in the 80s.
Okay.
So it's like,
yeah. Well, we found something. We found a fault in his game. He is human after all. Hey? Not good at penalties.
Honestly, if I am a coach, I do not put Messi in the spot. I wouldn't. But I wouldn't do it.
We know, 78% of the time he gets you a goal, but there. I tell you who. So it looks like, as we've discussed, we've covered France. Deschamps is leaving. This is his last World Cup. We suspect it's probably Messi's last Cup. Do you know who else this is their last World Cup? Alexi Lalas. This has to be his World Cup.
Wow. I was not expecting that. Okay.
I fear for him. He will not have a career or a reputation by the end of this tournament if things carry on going the way they are, the way Zlatan and Thierry Henry they're just like little piranhas. They're just taking little bites out of him. There's just not going to be much left by the time we get to the final, because my goodness. And the worst thing that could have happened to him was that rain delay in France. And all of a sudden they're sort of like scuttling to sort of like, okay, guys, we've got to fill the airtime. Let's go. Let's start talking, right? And Thierry's smooth and charming. You can lean on his experience when he was at the World Cup. Zlatan is Zlatan, and he just talks about sort of, him being a thunderbolt. And when he landed in LA, there wasn't an earthquake. That was him arriving. And then Lalas they're like, okay, Alexi, you'll go. And he's like, so rain as it comes down, it just starts ramping.
No, well, I thought the best thing was how he said that the MLS players will be used to this, and so we'll have an advantage. I'm like, dude, there's only like 18 MLS players in this World Cup.
He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. Hell? He's just been really shut up. Yeah,
he's not good. But what's really interesting is it sort of took, and I kind of give Fox a little credit on this one. It took them shifting the focus of their coverage to sort of reveal the flaws, right? I mean, it was almost like a harsh spotlight got put on him, because he has been the voice of Fox Soccer for so long. And I mean, so long.
Yeah.
And in a way, he was a voice without having a foil, right? There was nobody else to really go up against him, right? None of the other, there are no real American players who have the same type of gravitas that he can have, with the exception of Clint Dempsey, right? Clint Dempsey has been there, has done that. Landon Donovan has too. Neither Dempsey nor Donovan have the dynamic personalities required, right? They're both very effective at talking about the game, and they're both experienced. Neither one of them are beacons of joviality and like basic native charm. They don't have that.
Yeah. They are very, very down the line, right? Yeah.
So, okay, right. That kind of leaves Lalas, who fills that need. But you're right. He'll still be there, because I think he's just, it's like black mold. Really difficult to get rid of, right? You got to pull the whole thing apart down to the foundation and spray, and it's just nobody really wants to do it.
He's like glitter. the herpes of crafts, right? Once glitter goes on the carpet, it doesn't come out. Right?
Glitter. I like that. That's good. Very good. But yeah, no, it also didn't help that they had that sort of insane skill show off that they were doing with the ball. Like Zlatan and Henry, I mean, you could see, listen, you may get old, but you don't lose touch, right? Their touch was, and it looked to me that wasn't being carefully edited. That was all real time. Even when they made mistakes, they could recover and make it look like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then that eviscerating, I'm going to pass it to you and then take it away from you. Oh my God. It's like, that's that point where you make a meme and said, it's at this point you see his soul leave his body. It's just like,
the best comment was, I think it was on the Friday when US played Australia and Lalas was at the stadium, right? They seconded him down to the stadium and Rebecca Lowe interested them and said, it's just the two of us today, guys. And Zlatan looks up into the camera and goes, America, you're welcome.
I know. I mean, Zlatan, you were my hero because you had the nerve to say, I think, what many people were thinking deep down, but didn't want to actually utter. And you can say that because you don't care. Good for you.
Yeah. Anyway, it
was a little nasty, but then again, Zlatan was always like that. He'd kick you in the nuts with a smile on his face.
Yeah. Well, and
then blame you for running into his leg.
Yeah, you can feel they don't respect Lalas. First, they don't think he was at the level as a pundit. Obviously, a player, not at all as well. But yeah, it's terrible. It really is.
And he wasn't. Like, let's be objectively fair, right? Henry, when he talks, that man, you could tell, does his research. He is a team, or he does it himself, and I'm pretty sure it's a team and him. But he is so organized, disciplined. Whatever he puts, he's got papers in front of him, all that stuff. He knows. He plans, he plots.
But his comments are always...
Zlatan doesn't have to because he doesn't fall asleep. He doesn't care.
Henry does it in the Champions League as well. Like, he's insightful. The stuff he gives you, you're like, oh yeah, that's a really interesting... Yes, I agree. Yes. Whatever Thierry just said, right? It's very insightful, right? And of course, look, he's won it all, so he understands the game. I get that, right? Yeah, Lalas just I don't think, there's not much of a filter there, and it all just comes out. But anyway, more to come today. We should push on.
Also, he's not going to be back actually not back in the World Cup, but poor Jordan got eliminated last night, and
poor Jordan. Yes, they
got eliminated last night. And listen, I stayed up and I watched the game because if I'm going to write an article telling people to go and watch the game, I should at least eat my own dog food, and I did. I ate my dog food, and it was quite tasty. Thank you very much. It was at least an open-ended match. Certainly in the first half. I mean, it was completely wide open.
Yeah.
Running back and forth, lots of vigor, lots of shots, lots of this. And then Jordan just kind of ran out of gas. And
it seemed like,
was able to
just looking at the attacking momentum, you can see where first half, it's sort of like, Jordan get the goal in the 36th minute. Algeria have the more momentum. And then second half, it's just suddenly, and then the last third of the game, they just turned it on and scored the 2 goals and just overrun them by the looks of it. Right?
Well, and that's really what it was like. But it was a joyful match. And I was really pleased to see that the stadium was pretty much full, absolutely chock-a-block full.
Speaking of that, I have been very, very pleasantly surprised about the sort of depth and capacities of these stadiums. They are looking mostly full.
Mostly full. Yes.
Mostly full.
Mostly
I know.
Full.
I appreciate sort of, and I was surprised even, Ecuador, Curacao at sort of, in Kansas, not the easiest place to get to, bit out of the way, full. Full. So
interestingly, it's the bigger stadiums like Rutherford or in New Jersey and New York and down. Those are the ones that aren't getting full. Mm-hmm. But the smaller ones, the ones that are in the 60 in the 60 to
70,000 capacity,
60s, they're almost all like even for the Bay Area, which has, let's be honest, not the greatest selection of games, right? But they're still pulling people in now. That U.S. game. Please,
that's already. Well, that's what we've seen.
There's going to be essentially there's going to be a no Qooligan zone around that stadium. I will not go anywhere near that.
What do you mean? We've had a word with Gianni Infantino, and we're working on some VIP press passes for you. So more to come, Qooligan. More to come.
Listen, if I can't get into his motorcade, I'm still not getting to the stadium. It's going to take an hour and 20 minutes just to drive the last mile. So no.
Yeah.
And although you can walk. You can walk to Levi Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. It is possible.
What, from you take the BART down to Santa Clara and then you walk from the stadium? Is it
Yeah,
you can walk there? Okay.
Yeah, and if you
All
have
right.
a folding bike, you could bring a folding bike too and bike in there to be, No,
Go
I
for it.
wouldn't take the public transportation because that'd be brutal, but I would take a bike and I would park 5-6 miles away from the stadium and cycle.
There we go. Okay.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, because that'll be your fastest way.
Okay. Well, there you go. Advice for anyone traveling to that US game in on the round of
Look
30.
for the soccer complex just on the south side of the bay, and it's about a 3-mile cycle straight down.
Beautiful.
You can park there for free. I know that because I've done it. Yeah.
Okay. So if yesterday was the day of the striker, today is the day of the other remaining two strikers who are both.
But are we not even going to discuss Norway, Senegal?
I mean,
what happened?
It was fantastic. I watched that game.
Seriously, no offense to France, no offense to Argentina. That was the best game of the day.
I really found that entertaining. Erling Haaland as well. I mean, just shows that he is an elite world-class striker. He is absolutely fantastic. He is fantastic. And Norway, I mean, those fans, did you see them obviously doing the sort of the Viking roll as well, the chant as well? Again, my son did say, if we don't get France finishing second, we get Norway, we get to go and see it. And he's like, so I get to see
Norway's great to watch.
And we can do that and that will be fantastic. And it will be possibly like Norway, Ivory Coast or something like that. But looking forward to that.
I actually saw Norway play England in the Women's World Cup in Le Havre, France, a few years ago back in 2019. And that atmosphere was electric. Between those two fans, the march up to the stadium was incredible. Everything about that game was absolutely magic, right? And so this was pre-row, but still, right? And of course, I loved the fact that the Norwegian Parliament did the Viking row before to open the session. Normally they did all of them. Everybody did the Viking.
Amazing,
right?
amazing.
True, bipartisan, tripartisan. In Norwegian politics, it could be octopartisan because they have so many parties, but it'd be like everybody was like, doesn't matter who we are, we're all rowing.
Boys, yeah. Did you see there was a clip where Erling Haaland's father, Alfinga, was actually sitting next to Gianni Infantino for a portion of the game? Did you see that part where they were sitting next to each other?
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. Sure.
No, Haaland, Norway were great. Norway were fantastic. Senegal,
perhaps the most disappointing team in the tournament so far, other than Tunisia. Turkey and Senegal are up there for biggest womps of the World Cup.
But you could just see like the quality of just the final ball and the passing and the shooting towards the end of it. It's just like, oh God, this isn't going to be good.
Well, except for Ismail Assar, who has 3 goals, and of course, being Crystal Palace is awesome.
He is a stand-up player. I agree with you. Yes, but like Kalidou Koulibaly, he's over the hill, right? He came off and sort of did terribly. Nicholas Jackson, as a Chelsea fan, I'm not even going to go there to give you my thoughts on Nicholas Jackson. Sadio Mane was an amazing player, but unfortunately, I think the game has lost him a little bit. And it's Senegal. They've got, they're big, they're strong, but they're just the final ball, that touch. It was a little bit on the disappointing front, but it was all Norway. They did well to get 2 goals back, and it looked tight. I think the 3-2 result was probably a little bit flattering to Senegal, to be perfectly honest.
A little bit. I agree with you.
All right, let's get on to, so we've got in about 25 minutes, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo trying to get off the blocks in terms of World Cup goals and score. Portugal are playing Uzbekistan.
I can't see this as anything other than a Portuguese win.
Well,
but God knows the way there have been crazy results. This could be the craziest.
They could have. And then let's just go and quickly check the confirmed lineup, which I can bring now. If we can see the lineup.
Are they starting Ronaldo?
Yeah, they're starting him. It looks like they're starting him.
They're gonna tie.
Roberto Martinez, unfortunately, is just so like he's a bit like Carlo Ancelotti in that way with the Neymar situation, where he's like he has to take him. It just the net backlash and the knives will just come out as soon as you say I'm not taking Ronaldo, right? And that's probably would have been the best thing for Ronaldo.
He's whipped.
It would have been the best thing for Portugal just to say we're moving on. This is a new generation.
They should have cut him. They should have never put him in the roster.
Well, let's see.
They should have taken that hit back. They should have taken that hit back in March.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If the man had any cojones, he would have said, "You're out."
No. Yeah.
Bitch about it all you want. It's not going to change. We're gonna and that would have been now. we may be sitting here eating our words later if Ronaldo goes and does something crazy against Uzbekistan.
Yeah, possible.
But anything that he does now is going to have an asterisk because it's going to be like against Uzbekistan. I mean, but this could be a draw. And if it's a draw, then you're really going to see blood flow.
Well, and again, like, we'll see. I agree with you. I don't think this is going to be every projection I've ever made has been pretty wrong here, to be honest. I don't think this is going to be a 4-5-0 thrashing. I think this is going to be a tight 1-0 where Portugal sort of squeak it through and get like a result, get a goal at the end, and it'll be like a, Vitinha tap in or something like that towards the end.
I think it's going to be 3-1 Portugal. That's my gut's going to be 3-1 Portugal, but those 2 goals are going to come late when Uzbekistan is tired.
It's going to be scrappy. Scrappy game, not a confident position. And then we have.
Oh, and here's my other bold prediction: Ronaldo becomes player manager
of Portugal in the game. You think what he gets?
Roberto Martinez basically at the end of this game gets disappeared somewhere, and Ronaldo is announced as player manager.
Do you remember when they won the Euros years ago, and he got like a calf strain or something in the game, and he had to come off, and he was then like standing on the sideline with the ice pack around his gut and like shouting like as a manager.
Oh, sure. Right? I mean, I think that's passion, right? Yeah. And I don't have any beef. I don't have any beef with somebody getting up. That's what you should be doing on the sidelines.
But as a star player, let the manager do your job. Do your job, right? I think that should be it. Speaking of doing their job, England are playing Ghana today in Boston. I would like
to be an evisceration.
I would like to shout out that the people of Boston have come out and said that they prefer the Scots to the English. They're much more pleasant to have drinking.
Listen,
I can understand that position.
Gary, everyone in the world prefers the Scots to the English. This should not come as a surprise to you.
Yeah. So that was quite
just the way it is.
I did find that quite funny. That was amusing. So England played Ghana. I mean, again, Ghana, Carlos Queiroz is ranked 73rd in the world. Again, just looking at their team, I mean, they've got Semenyo, they've got Partey. That's about it. England should comfortably dispatch these guys and qualify top of their.
They don't even have Partey. He's not playing. Why does everybody keep talking about this dipshit? I mean, sorry, he's not.
Is he not playing? Okay.
No, he's not going to play.
Okay. All right.
Why would you? I mean, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Just because he was good once doesn't mean that he's going to be, back out on there.
We can say that for anyone, right? Just because.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think, again, that was a mistake to put him on the roster. They should have never done that. It's for all the wrong reasons, right? I don't see anything other than an England win. Sorry, I just don't.
I agree. It's comfortable. Harry Kane also will probably be eyeing that golden boot as well and say, look, I want to have a crack at it. He won it in 20.
Well, the poor guy got put in the last group, so he's had to sit there and watch everybody else run away with it. So the pressure is on him, right?
Yeah, but I mean, look, did score 2 goals. Messi's on 5, so everyone, all the other big guys are on 4. Ronaldo's on 0.
If he tracks along with everybody else, he needs 2 goals. Today.
Yeah.
And he's good.
But again, I could see a Kane hat trick here. I could actually see a Kane hat trick here, and well, we'll see how that goes.
But they'll certainly be up for it. That's for sure.
Yeah. And and he's on penalty duty, and he's an efficient penalty taker.
That's true. He is on penalty duty.
Yeah. Okay, so we think England there. Panama, Croatia is actually going to be an interesting one. Croatia were okay against England. You could see that they've sort of, obviously stars are fading. They're still holding on to a sort of like a little bit Belgium in that sense where like the older generation, still holding on to them. Croatia, Panama, there's a world here in which Panama could be Croatia and Croatia could be going home.
It could happen. I think more along the lines, it's going to stymie them. They're going to get frustrated, but I think ultimately Croatia will prevail, but it won't be easy, right? Panama's not exactly, they did a good job in holding Ghana. It really just took a last minute, extra effort for them to put that one over the line. So Yeah, I think it would be a wake-up call. Sometimes countries need wake-up calls like that, and Croatia might be that. But also remember, they're not just old guys. They've got a bunch of young studs in there too, who can, Peter Musa, various other players that can come in and play. So sure. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to hate on a team that looks a little long on the tooth and is over the hill, but they can still come back. And I could say this: nobody will want to play Croatia in a knockout round game because they tend to get really, really. That's when they buckle down.
Yeah, and look, to be fair to Croatia, those 2 goals that they did score against England were both
They were good goals. They were good goals.
They were not just simple.
I'd say that if they weren't playing a team of England's caliber, they probably would have won that game. But now let's see what they can do against Panama.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then the final game of tonight's game at actually this one's actually down in Mexico, right? Estadio Akron. Is that was
Correct?
Estadio
I believe so. Yeah. That's Colombia, DR Congo. Awesome.
Colombia, DR Congo. This is going to be a fun one. Colombia, I mean, Colombian fans are absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you saw, there was a wonderful clip of like these 5 beautiful Colombian famous women. There was like Sofia Vergara, Shakira, and then a couple of other Colombian celebrities that I'm not who are, but obviously equally as striking as well. And the Colombians really show up, and they are always great fun to watch. Luis Diaz, Suarez and co as well. Does James Rodriguez as well? Does he obviously sort of put in a performance? It would be interesting.
Again, why are people talking about this guy?
Well, it's because
I get it. No, I mean he got the Golden Boot once. Yeah. He had a moment where he was good, and he's been completely irrelevant for like nearly a decade.
Right, 5 years. So he is. I agree. I'll give you that one. Yeah, I mean he's
really
where he's at Minnesota United. So
why are people talking about him when you've got players like Luis Diaz?
Yeah,
right.
And
when you've got guys like
Luis Suarez is fantastic. That striker,
like Luis Suarez, like Munoz. Like, I mean, come on. Yeah. These are top-notch players in their prime, and you're still talking about James.
Well, let's see. He's achieved the most, but yeah. Okay, Qooligan.
I mean, honestly, if there wasn't a Ronaldo out there, Rodriguez would be the Ronaldo of this tournament. If Ronaldo wasn't there pulling all the spotlight, I would be talking about Rodriguez the same way.
I agree. Wonderful. Well, Qooligan, that brings us to another journey around the games of yesterday and today. We will be back tomorrow. So this is, as you say, this is the final round of the second round of group phases, and then we basically kick into everyone plays at the same time, 3 sets of games of
sudden death time, baby. Yeah.
And well, it's not sudden death. It's just, but it means a lot more because it determines the outcome of the groups. So that's it's going to be exciting as we get into it. Wonderful. Well, Qooligan, as always, hooligan-soccer.com. Go check it out. We've got lots of content, lots of prizes going on there. Until next time.